some challenges with the network. We don't know what is coming. It comes and goes off. So when I'm speaking, I don't know whether you people heard me or not. We were talking about why somebody should be initiated, and was a question asked by Lamisi. Is it Lamisi? Kamisi. That why should people be initiated, and I was explaining that initiation is an introduction to what you want to deal with. That's all that it is. Initiation is an introduction to the spirit that you want to work with, or the spirits that want to work with you. So initiation is not a force. It is you who wants to work with some energy. You will be introduced. Just like when you go into a new office and you want to work there, they will introduce you to the people who are in the office, and those who have been there before you are coming, and they will tell you the rules and regulations. So initiation is simply introduction into what you want to do. If it is voodoo, then they have to initiate you, introduce you to the spirit world, to let you know, let them know that you are coming to learn about them or work with them. It's okay now?
Yes.
It has cut off again.
Oh, it's okay now.
Okay. So please, your questions should come. That is for Kamisi. So that's initiation is just an introduction into the spirit world. Or voodoo initiation or spiritual initiation is an introduction into the spirit world.
Okay. To Vora, talk me. I am good. Yes, it's been a while. Sometimes it's the time difference, but I go back to see your videos. Good seeing you again.
Thank you, Vora. Thank you very much.
Popa Guan.
Who?
Popa.
Popa
Guan.
Guan.
Yes, Papa.
Yes.
Hello from Ghana.
Hello, Popa. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Oluchi, great day.
Yes, Oluchi, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us. We are grateful. How is the weather in your part of the world treating you? Hope you are enjoying good weather. Thank you.
Kwabena Apenefa Hero Anan, greetings, Papa, and all. Peace and blessings from Ohio.
Hello, Kwabena. Apenefa, how are you? Apenefa, not Apenefa. Eh?
A-P-N-E-F.
Apenefa means let the house be cool, let the home be cool, let there be peace in the house or in the home. Apenefa, Komla, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us. We're asking and waiting for your questions.
Okay. Next question. Wadada.
Wadada, yes, you were asking a question, yes.
Thanks for response to my question.
Okay.
Patricia Moore says I will come.
Okay, if you're anytime. But you people are not going to work this day. This is the time you can come. It is now when your work starts again at the airport, you are not going to have free time. Because the airport has been closed for so long. If you people open now, I don't think you people are going to have free time at all. But anyway, anytime that you are free, you can come. Yes, hello, my brother Fredua. How are you?
Father, I greet you. Is it good to have more than 2 dreams every day?
People can have 3, 4, 5 dreams, because dreams, when you wake up from one, you enter into another one. So long as you are sleeping, dreams can continue changing. It is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But if the dreams are scary, then that's why you become afraid. But otherwise, I don't see anything wrong with having many dreams. I dream many times in a night, not one dream. I get out of some continue into the second level, and to the third level, to the fourth level. Some, there will just be a dream, and then that chapter is closed, and I am in different dreams. So to have different dreams, I don't think it has any problem. It is any problem. Yes.
Can a reading be done for a person without his or her presence at the temple? If yes, how please?
Yes, Wadada, we do, most of the reading we do is online. You call us, we tell you what to send to us. When you send your money to us, we will call you, make you to speak on the money that you have sent to us. through WhatsApp. And after speaking onto the money, we will now go take that money, give it to the oracle, and ask the oracle to go around what you have spoken on the money and come with answers and solutions. So the oracle will go and then come back and tell us what is happening in your life by what you have said on the money. And then also tell us the solutions, the things we should do to help you change what you are going through before you wanted to do a reading. So we do it online. In Ghana, we are doing it, if the person is in Ghana, we are doing it for 400 Ghana cedis, plus 2 bottles of this drink, Beefeater dry gin. Kofi has removed the thing from it, but it's a Beefeater dry gin, 2 bottles of that, plus 400 Ghana cedis. If you live outside Africa or live outside Ghana, we take $150 from you to cover everything, and we do the reading for you. And after the reading, whatever we see in the reading, we'll let you know. And then we'll also tell you what we should do for you if you are willing that we should go ahead and do the necessary vosa, which it translates in English ritual, or in Yoruba, ebo. If you want us to do that for you, we'll tell you the items that we want to use. And you either tell if you have someone in Ghana, the person can bring the items to us and we will use it. But if you don't have anybody here, you send us money, we'll buy the items. We will also charge you for our workmanship. That's how we work here. But then we charge the workmanship according to what ritual we are going to do, and also according to what the oracle says we should charge. So that's how we work at the African Magic Temple. You know, Revolution is where we are transmitting, but the African Magic Temple is where the shrine is. Thank you very much.
Crosby, this is from Crosby. This is his question. He wants to know whether he can read someone's thoughts, because it says he hears people's thoughts.
He said what?
Crosby.
Crosby, what did he say?
Is there a way to hear another man's thoughts? I hear things, Jason.
Jason Crosby.
Yes.
Jason, if you hear other people's thoughts, yes, it is possible you can hear other people's thoughts, but if you have not been trained to control what you are hearing, it will lead you into lunacy, a lunatic because when you begin to hear so many voices and you cannot control them, you will be called a crazy person, because it is not normal for people to hear other people's thoughts. But if you are hearing other people's thoughts, then you have to be very careful that you don't cross over the line to the other side. Otherwise, you are not that you are going to die, but you cross the line to where the people we call mad people, because it's not normal for other human beings to be hearing others' thoughts. But when you are trained in spirituality, initiated properly, and given all the tools and the guidelines, yes, when you hear other people's thoughts, you will know how to separate facts from fiction and be able to make use of it for the benefit of humanity, of course. Can you all hear me well?
Yes,
my audio is fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, Joey, thank you very much.
Hello, Cecil, thank you too.
For your response.
Thank you very much too for asking the question, because we are all learning.
Mata Brown, Alafia, Baba.
Thank you, Mata Alafia.
Thomas Ubodai Togo. Greetings, Papa.
Hello, Thomas, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us. We are grateful for you joining us this afternoon.
Mr. Christopher, what type of alcohol do I need to give to the ancestors? Is golden dry gin or any?
You say, what kind of alcohol?
Yes, Papa.
Who is asking the question? Tobo?
Okansi.
Okansi. Oh, Akwesi, you can give them any kind of alcohol that you are drinking. But the best is an alcohol that does not have any color. Just a plain alcohol, gin, vodka, and all that. But then when it has color, usually in African or every traditional spirituality, we don't use colored liquor to pour libation to the ancestors. You can pour it to spirits, but sometimes you don't pour it to ancestors. But then if you don't have anything at all and that's all that you have, sure, you can pour it to them. They will understand.
Okay, we go to YouTube for questions.
Yeah, before we go to YouTube, I would like to announce to all our Facebook fans that we are trying to migrate to YouTube so that we can have a very stable, transmission level transmission. So today is the 7th of June. We will be having our end of year rituals on the 30th of this month. And that is our mid-year rituals. So we're asking all of you to join our channel, African Magic Temple, on YouTube, so that when we migrate by the end of the month, you will all join us there. So between now and the 30th of June, we are still on Facebook and WhatsApp, Facebook and YouTube, and also on our website, our own website, African Magic Temple. But after 30th of June, we will be transmitting more on YouTube and our website than on Facebook. So please, all of you should start. Those who still want to listen to what we are teaching, and if it is benefiting you, then please try as much as possible to subscribe to our YouTube channel, so that when we are there, you can continue listening to us very comfortably. So thank you. To bring the question on the YouTube now.
Musings about Africa. Good afternoon, Papa, and the rest of the team.
Thank you very much, African man.
I send blessings and thankfulness your way. A few questions for me.
Yes, go ahead.
Papa, is the ritual for removing negative destiny and setting up positive except one of the rituals performed when someone is getting initiated at the shrine?
No. To set up a say for you, first of all, you must get your negative destiny removed. Our initiations involve three major divinities or deities that we are working with, which one is Abraxas, Akai, and Jopata. Those are the main initiation. But we advise people that when you come to do those things, to get initiation, it is advisable that your negative essay or your negative destiny should be removed. Why? Because if your negative destiny is not properly aligned and you are initiated, you will not have, you cannot enjoy the totalness of what new thing that you have gotten. So it is advisable that your negative destiny has to be removed or aligned for you. To set up a destiny or a set for a person, usually when the negative is removed, you wait for some time, like maybe 6 months, 1 year, before the positive essay is usually set up. But because people who are traveling from far away, coming to Ghana or coming to our shrine, they will have to go and come back again, which will cost them other monies. We are now trying to ask the oracle whether it is possible that after removing a person's negative destiny, we can immediately set up the positive destiny for the person to take along with them. And these ones are totally different initiation. Removal of essay and also setting up a positive essay are totally different initiation from our original initiation, and it costs separate money. Thank you.
Second question. Approximately, how long is the initiation process at your shrine?
Well, initiation process can be only depending on what you are being initiated into. Some can take less than 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But the whole process of a full initiation into African Magic Temple, we ask people to at least spend about 7 days with us, because some days are bad days. And if you're coming to our shrine and it falls into a bad day, we cannot do any serious spiritual things. So that day has to be taken out of the number of days. So we ask people at least 7 days is good, because after the initiation, some people, it's not the first time that they initiate them that they are able to get the vibration. Some, even before the initiation will start, once we start the process, the vibrations start coming. We are all different. People have different destinies. People have different ways of thinking, different things that are following them. So for some, it is very fast, and for others, it takes some time. For this reason, we ask that at least when you stay up to from 7 to 10 days, we will, after the initiation, we will see how things are going with you, so that you should be able to get maximum benefit out of the initiation you have taken before going back to where you're coming from. So minimum should be 7 days, and then maximum can be as long as you can stay and want to learn. We are here.
The next question from Musings About Africa. Are you still distributing Akanyi Starter Pack in the US?
Yes, Akanyi Starter Pack is still in the US, and whoever is interested in it, you can contact us, and we will link you up so that they can send it to you. Yes, we are still distributing it.
And finally, if possible, could you please show us the difference between a Jopata bracelet and bangle?
It's the same thing. Some people call it bangle, some people call it bracelet. It doesn't matter, because in our Ewe language, we don't call it bracelet and we don't call it bangle. We call it Jopataga or Chambaga. Simple as that. So the English language is not my mother tongue. So if people call it bangle, people call it bracelet. Whatever you call it, I don't know. But it's a metal. So if you call it bracelet, fine. If you call it bangle, fine. I don't know.
Okay. Next question. Good day, Papa. Thank you so much for the wonderful work you are doing to help us.
Hello, Duke. Thank you very much for joining us.
My first question today.
Yes.
How does one know if they have a positive or negative destiny?
By nature, generally, everybody has a positive destiny and everybody has a negative destiny. So it is natural. Once you by looking at life in general and looking at nature, there is positive and negative. We have day and we have night. We have male and we have female. We have the earth and we have the sky. So automatically and naturally, when you are born, you have positive destiny and you have negative destiny. The hand here, the palm, you have the face of the palm and you have the back of the palm. As a black person, I think there's two different places. You can see this place looks a little bit brighter and this place looks darker. I don't know with white people, but I think with black people it is very obvious, you can see. So naturally we all have negative and positive destiny. But what happens in most of our cases, some of us, is that the positive destiny is less active, and the negative is more strong or paramount. And when the negative destiny is very paramount in your life, things don't go your way. Things that you think that can change your life, or things that you do and the way you expect results, it doesn't go that way. For this reason, it can automatically be identified that your negative destiny is stronger than the positive destiny. And when we identify that the negative one is stronger than the positive one, we will align it and make it be able to work for you, or remove it. That's what we say, we remove the negative one and then encourage the positive one to grow. Because honestly speaking, if your positive destiny is very strong, I don't think you will be coming onto our page here. Because most people whose positive destinies are strong don't even care about it, because they don't have any difficulty in life, so they are fine. You won't be coming even to learn about yourself.
Second question. How does one connect and work with their ancestors or spirits that their ancestors work with, especially when most people in the family are against?
Who is asking it? Wadada? Who is asking?
Duke, yeah.
Duke, yes. Duke, the question is that to work with your ancestors, because your ancestors are always around you. They are always around you. Whether you are seeing them or you are not seeing them, whether you are pouring libation for them or you are not pouring libation for them, they are always around you. But to make them active in your life is when you begin to pour libation to them and calling them and bringing them into your life. That is when you will begin to see them in your daily life, how they are supporting you from the yonder. And then if there are spirits that your ancestors had worked with before, and other people become Christians because they felt that those things don't mean anything to them, for you, you can always work with them. You can always work with your ancestral spirits or your ancestors, their spirits, because when you begin to pour libation to your ancestors, you are beginning to invite them into your life. And when you are inviting them into your life, automatically the energies that they had worked with, or the entities or the deities that they had worked with, will also be coming along. And surely they will show you a direction, either through reading or through dreams, that this is what you should be doing. And when you follow, you will do, and you will become successful.
Thanks so much, Papa and team. I appreciate the answers, and I'll be in touch soon. Blessings.
Thank you very much, Duke. I'm very grateful. You people stop talking, because you'll be making noise at the background into this thing that we are doing. Why? It is gone off again? What is passing through? It's passing through what? You were electrified? How can you be electrified? The laptop, and then it's kicking you people. You touch the Said, and then you were getting the electrical shocks. So he's an electric man. He has become electricity himself.
Thank you so much for the answer, Papa. I see my ancestors work with me so strongly since I began acknowledging them. They talk to me in dreams and guide my life. So thank you.
I thank you too, because this is what our Revolution platform is for, to educate everybody how you can know your own things, how you can begin to identify yourself with your roots, identify yourself and be proud of yourself. You know, now that this problem in the US with George Floyd, it has started about 400-500 years ago. But maybe President Donald Trump is a blessing to America. Why I say so is that it is at his time that this thing has shown up its very ugly head, and the whole world saw it filmed, and people saw what has been happening for 500 years that had been ignored by people. But this time, as we can see, the riots or the demonstrations, protesting is not limited to America alone. It is now spreading worldwide, which is a very good thing. That's why I'm saying we don't know. Maybe the President Donald Trump is a blessing to America and the black people in disguise. Why I say so is because at his time, racism became very strong and very openly. And then our people and people who are also not our people are seeing that this is too much. Why treat human beings this way? Would you be happy if one of your kind is treated that way? And it is the age of awakening. So even people who are not of black skin color are beginning to awake, seeing what is happening to the black man, and they are talking about it, and they are getting involved in the demonstrations and the protests to change the narratives of what has been happening and had always been ignored. I'm very happy that this is going on, and because it's going to bring our people back to the roots. Because when you look at yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror, and then you go back to church and then go and look at the God that is your God, you see that there's a difference between you and your God, or the God that has been presented to you. And we sang the songs Amazing Grace and all kind of things, we shall overcome, all kind of songs have been sung, hoping that that God that has been presented to the black man for about 500, 600 years had not been actually a helper or being in the interest of the black man. And with this time, the things that are happening now, the wise people among us, the wise people will try to find out why the Christian God, which has been presented in the Bible, had not helped the cause of the black man. If it is he is or she is the God of all of us, why we had always been at the bottom? Why had we always been neglected? Why had we always been treated this way? If the God in the Bible, the Christian God, is the God of all, for all of us, why should we be treated like that? Because the Hindus have their God, they are not talking about Christianity. The Arabs have their God, they are not talking about Christianity. The Buddhists have, the Asians have their God, they are not talking about Christianity. It's only the black man whose God is white man. And he has not been of help to the black man. As far as I have seen over the years, he has not been fighting for the cause of the black man. So these things are going to awaken our people. So please spread the news. Let people know that they have been freed from the slavery chains. We have all been freed from chains, but our minds are still in chains. So let people know that this is the time. So maybe a coronavirus came to show some things. Now George Floyd's death. Many people have died before George Floyd. But why at his time that this thing? It takes only one single soul to sacrifice and the rest of the world become free, or the rest of the community become free. So we say rest in peace to George Floyd and to all those who had died before him, long before him. And all the ancestors that have been treated in this way, we are telling them it is their time now to wake up, to rise, and make a change in the physical plane. Thank you very much. I have even heard that Thunder has struck some monument of some slave master or whatever, those people who, and then within these 2 days, which is also a sign something is going on. Yes, Nana Kukusaki, thank you for coming. The question, yes, let me see.
Tony, peace and blessings. What is the meaning of a good death and a bad death in every voodoo? When someone suffers a bad death, what must be done?
Bad death. Okay.
What must be done for them spiritually?
Yes, usually we regard traumatic deaths as bad death, and people who died in their sleep as a peaceful death. And then those who get sick in between the people dying peaceful death at an old age, and people who are dying at an old age, ripe age, very old age, these deaths are regarded as peaceful. But when someone is young and got into a situation that took his life away or takes his life away, just like what I was just talking about George Floyd, even though through no mistake of his own, his life had been just yanked out of his body by Chauvin. What is the name? Other name for the man? The policeman who did that. Of course, that policeman knew he was dying, and he intentionally wanted to kill him, and he killed him. The George Floyd's spirit cannot rest in peace, even though we may say on the physical place that rest in peace, because he was restrained. The anger in him when he was shouting for help or saying that he couldn't breathe, that anger and the frustration, being restrained and somebody killing him, when his spirit or his soul or a say gets out of his body, that say cannot go and lie down peacefully, even though we will say on the physical plane that go and sleep peacefully, until they are able to do rituals to move his spirit from where he died to where he will be buried. And then there are rituals that are done to keep the spirit at peace. This same thing happens to people who got into accidents, car accidents or gunshots, even the soldiers at the battlefield, because they did not prepare to die. It happened. Even though when you go to war you can be killed, but nobody wants to go and be killed. They want to go and come back alive. So when you die traumatic death, you have this your spirit is still hanging around. These are the people we call the living dead. They are dead, but they are still living. Their spirits will be around until the day that their actual time of death comes before they can leave the world. But then there are rituals that can be done in order to pacify them and bring them to home. I remember in my village in Hohwe, long time ago, there were Japanese volunteers. They were teaching in schools. And then one of the ladies, a car hit her and she died. So the parents came from Japan, even though the body was moved away from my village to Accra, but the parents came. After the cremation, they came to the site where their child died. They did some rituals and pray and did certain things, and then they took the sand or soil from the area, and then they took it with the urn, and they flew to Japan. But it's only black people nowadays, because we are Christians, we think that those things don't matter. The spirit and the body are two separate things, but they live together. So when a time comes that the spirit has been removed from the body, they stand separately. And until people who know how to bring this together again, the spirit can never be at peace. So Nana Kukosachi, in every culture, when people die traumatic deaths, there are rituals that are done, and we can see changes, not only in every culture, in Ghana, Akan culture, but because everybody is now Christian, when such things happen, they say, oh, it is okay, the Lord has accepted them, they are lying peacefully in the bosom of Abraham. Abraham is not our grandfather. How can you be lying in his bosom? But you see, stupidity also is the biggest problem of the black man. We are so stupid that we see reality, but we say, no, we don't want to accept it just because that is what the white man is doing. That's what we should do. And this is where we have gone wrong. So there are rituals to do for people who die traumatic deaths and people who die peaceful. Peaceful death, well, they can bring your body to the house. When you die a traumatic death, in every culture, they cannot bring your body. Even your body can never be brought to the house where you live, because it is believed that if they bring your body to the house where you live, we are inviting more accidents or more of such deaths to occur in the family in the future. For that reason, they will not bring your body to the house. So there are so much rituals that are done. But with Christianity and modern day way of looking at life, those things don't matter anymore. So people don't follow it. But then in those of us who are in the tradition and still remembering our ancestors and doing traditional things, we follow it to the maximum. So good death is when you die at an old age, sometimes even with a little illness or just a brief illness, and you die, it's still a good death. But when you die a traumatic death, accidental death, deaths like what has happened to George and the others who were killed, we call those ones traumatic death, and it is not a good death. Thank you. But then, of course, some people have that in their destiny. Who knew from the very day that George Floyd was born, this was the kind of death that he's going to die? With a man of his size and a giant, who could believe that that is the way he will be killed? Had they not restrained him, and that guy was trying to kill him, I believe George would have given him just one blow, and that person's neck would have fallen off, head would have fallen off his head. But then, this is the way. But then, his death today is what is bringing the change. It's what is bringing the change. So, in his destiny, if we Eves or Eve Voodoo is to talk, he was born for that, to bring a change. Just like in Christianity, if it is true that Jesus died and a lot of changes had happened. So he, as a single person, his death has awakened and has brought memories of 400, 500 years back to the black community. And it is also being shown to the whole world. And we are all very bitter about the way he was killed. And all that we can do is to be advocating and sending things to make people to be aware of who we as black people are and what we should do to be free. Thank you very much, Nana Kokosachi.
Pierre, good morning, Papa. My question for you today: in ancient voodoo, it is common for people to bury live animals in a ritual way. So is this very common in every voodoo as well? And what are the purpose of this type of rituals?
No, who is asking the question?
Pierre Pilassen.
Pierre Pilassen. In every voodoo, yes, maybe it is done, but it's not a very common practice of burying animals alive. I have not seen many of such kind of this. My teacher never did anything like that, except in a case of when somebody is seriously sick and they have tried everything that they know or they knew, and the person is not getting well. And if they consult the oracle and the oracle say that they should send cat or a dog into the spirit world to go and face whatever is fighting the person, that's why the person is not getting well, because we knew in our culture that there are people who use their spiritual powers to destroy other people, and they have done everything in order not to be seen. In such cases, they will bury a cat depending on what the oracles say they should do. And they may bury a cat alive with a whole lot of things, like they are burying a human being. The procedure is like they are burying a human being which is the sick person. We are off again? And then they will use the sick person's clothing to wrap around statues and the cat and all these things. And then they are now exchanging the life of the sick person into the cat or the dog alive to go into the spirit world, to go and face, or go into the psychic plane to face whoever is fighting it. And usually when that is done, the sick person becomes strong, and we hear some news from far away that something had happened to somebody somewhere. And that is it. But it is not very common. It is a very rare practice. But my teacher, my old man, had done it once or twice. I have seen in a situation where we had a life and death situation. We are supposed to get life for somebody who was going away. But then when we did it, the person became alive and strong and still alive now. Yes, let's go on.
Yes,
please share it out to your friends on your page. Let people join us. Please share. Because recently we have been having very interesting topics, but not too many people have been watching. So share your this thing. Share it to people so that they can join us and also contribute to this program. It's very, very important, especially at this time that we as a black race, we are in.
Sister Elder,
yes.
Do I need to consult my family elders before coming to the temple for initiation?
I don't know. It's your family members are the ones sending you to come to do initiation. So that question, I don't know how to ask it. Whether you want to consult them, that's your palaver. It's not my palaver. It's not me who will tell you to go and consult your family members before coming here. It is you who has to think of what you want.
Kwame Taylor Jr.
Yes, Kwame.
Why are you wearing mask in your office?
I'm wearing mask because I want the world to know that the coronavirus pandemic is not yet over.
Angie G. Fisher, we have a first cousin who passed away traumatically, and his mother requested us to bring his ashes to Ghana to bury. Would this be wise? What steps should we take for this spirit to be at peace?
Yes, Angie, it's a very interesting thing. I think you had asked me before, or I have heard about it before. But see, bringing his body or his ashes or the urn to Ghana to be buried is also a very good idea. But if only someone can go to the spot where he was killed or where the accident had happened and call his name and pour libation and just use a paper, a small broom or a brush to tell him that we are taking you to Ghana, please come with us. Then they fetch that sand. Usually it's done by people who already are spiritualists. But in the situation in which you are now, who is going to be there to bring, go and do that. But you can go and then just pour a libation for him and call his name. Tell him that you are bringing his ashes to Ghana as per the wish of the mother, so he should come along with you. By pouring the libation, then you sweep the area where the sun from the area a little bit, and then wrap it, add it to the urn, and then bring it to Ghana, and we will help you to bury him. Thank you.
Okay. Now back to YouTube for questions. Martin Hobler.
Hello, for Martin. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. I thank God for your life and for advent of our.
Thank you to for Martin. Akpe, Wezo. Edward Emenu, yes.
Donna, please pray to God to help me get money to come to your temple, please.
Oh, you pray for yourself. Why should I pray to you to get money to come to me? What am I going to tell the spirits? Pray to your ancestors. That's what we are teaching. We are trying to empower you so that you can know what to do. You want to come here, and you need money to come here. It's you who will pray to your ancestors, asking them that the reason why you want to come here, they should open doors for you so that you can come here. It is not for our shrine, this to be praying for you to be able to come here. Because when we pray to ancestors, we pray generally for everybody's welfare. But then individually, it's you who wants to come. So pray. But I have heard you. I will pray for you.
Questions about Africa. I completely agree with all your sentiments. I'm here in the US and was shocked by George Floyd's lynching, but inspired by the national protests. But how do you respond to the question again in good faith that the drafters make and say if African spirits were so powerful and strong, why did our brothers and sisters become captives?
Yeah, there's a lot of time people ask such questions that why did our ancestors were captured and what happens to them, or why if the spirits were strong. If spirit is strong and you don't use it, how can you work for you? Spirit is not just walking around and helping everybody. And you should also understand that it's not everybody in Africa that was captured and brought to Americas. That one you should know. So if you have a gun, let's use gun as a sample. If you have a gun with you and you are attacked by someone and you don't use your gun, if your attacker will overcome you. But if you are able to use your gun, your attacker may overcome you or may not overcome you. So even if you have a spiritual power and you don't use that spiritual power in a proper way, when you are attacked, you can be attacked, you can be overcome. It is not that because you are spiritual, so bad things don't happen to people. But the frequency of that bad thing happening to you who is already on the spiritual path, or has a spiritual power, or has got some spiritual knowledge, compared to a person who does not have anything at all, it's less. So in the case of the ancestors, our ancestors who were captured as slaves, don't forget, some were captured by their own African people through wars, tribal wars. If one tribe, let's say the Ewe tribe and the Ashanti tribe, are at loggerhead with each other and they fought a fight, even though the Ashantis may have a spiritual power, and the Avis may have a spiritual power. Some people who are during that war will be captured as war slaves or soldiers. It happens in even modern wars. Even though America is so powerful with all the guns and ammunition and nuclear weapons, some American soldiers also have been captured by Somalis, who nobody believes that they could capture Americans. So in such a situation, some of our ancestors were captured. And because they were being captured, they have been stripped of all their even if they have talismans and all this thing and they were captured, they have been stripped off and they become war captives of the winning or the victorious tribe or chief or clan or whatever. And when these people who have been captured are there in their prisons or in their service, these chiefs or these victorious people can choose to sell them out to the white man because it is the profit for them. So within Africa itself, these wars had already created slavery from communities. So it is not only that the white man came into African land and started capturing people like that and then putting them into ship and taking them into the new world as it was called in the past. Within Africa, even today, as we are talking today, there are still captives, war captives within short areas. You talk about Boko Haram. I'm sure all of you have heard about that, Boko Haram. They have captured about 200 plus girls from Borno state some time back. And until today, these girls have not been returned to, not all of them have been returned to their parents or to their communities. Supposing it was in those days when they used to buy, human beings. Do you think that Boko Haram, if the white people contacted them that they want to buy slaves, they wouldn't have sold all these girls to the white man to take to where? So these things had been there. So when people stand up and say, oh, if our ancestors were so powerful and our gods were so powerful, how could they capture this thing? It was the power that some of them used in capturing some people. So it is neither here nor there. So that kind of question doesn't really mean anything. The Jews have got Jehovah more than stronger than anybody, but Jews were in captivity. Even in as early as Second World War, they were killed, about 6 million of them. Where was their God? That powerful God that made the sea to divide into two. Where was it? Before the Jews were captured or sent to the gas chambers. So don't use that kind of argument to judge your ancestors' power. God is a wonderful thing. And if you don't listen to instructions, sometimes it can go against you, or it will not respond to you when you call. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hello, Papa. Can those who die prematurely or young cause trouble and any death to others within their own family if rituals are not done?
Yes, they can. People who die prematurely, depending on the condition in which they die. It's not just because they die prematurely, so they'll start to worry. It depends on which condition in which they died. If, for instance, if those children were aborted children had been killed or they have been maltreated, and then that causes their death, their spirits and their soul will not be at peace. So it will definitely disturb people within the community or within that household in the future.
Martin Kobler.
Yes.
I suggest that as you are the one talking, you can talk without the mask as long as the others with you are wearing their masks.
Okay, yeah, for Martin, thank you. I think everybody, but can't you people hear me very clearly when I'm talking? There's a mask prevent my voice from getting to you. If it is a problem, okay, so I'll remove the mask and then I can talk. I think it doesn't make much difference, but I'll remove the mask and then I can talk. Yes. Yes. Yes.
How are you doing, my brother?
Hello, Jay. How are you doing too? I'm good. And how have you been? Hope you are fine.
Blessings and peace to you and your family.
Same to you, Jay. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for you joining us this afternoon.
Papa, can you speak a bit on the natural technology of art, music, dance, and also psychoactive consciousness, shooting plants like iboga, mushrooms in African spirituality?
Shooting plants?
Psychoactive.
We don't use in voodoo. We don't use psychedelic medicines to induce spiritual trance or anything. Such things are not done. Spirit possession does not need a psychedelic. It does not need a psychedelic addition to induce trance. When spirit possesses you, automatically you will know. Makai, mi vanyao. Makai ko vivafi. Who brought some child in the house and making noise? Excuse me, we are having some guests. I don't know where they are coming from, and they are making noise there. So I want that noise to stop. But then I see. And what is the meaning of Christ? The word Christ is a Greek word. And the real word is Christus. Yeah, so put it on. Yeah, so Duke Yebua. So what you were asking, in voodoo, in real voodoo, people don't use any psychoactive mushrooms, LSD, and all kind of marijuana and all this thing to induce themselves. Honestly speaking, we don't do that in voodoo, because voodoo is spirit, and when spirit possesses you, you don't need to use something to induce the trance. No, it should come naturally. And that is when it becomes real. But when you take drugs and you are using the drug as the leverage on which you stand before getting into trance, then it is not real. It is a fake trance. The only thing that is used in voodoo for a spirit to work or to possess people or to speak through people is alcohol, which we use in praying to the voodoo, and also some of the incense that will be burned. Yes, of course, the people who are praying to the voodoo sometimes are drinking the alcohol in the sense that when they are drinking it on behalf of the spirits. So sometimes people can drink this whole bottle or even 5 of this and they will never get drunk. If a spirit possesses you, you can never get drunk. Because when you drink it, it is not your physical body that is. Your physical body is taking it, but it is the effect is is in the spirit world. So you can drink all this and you will never get drunk. So in voodoo, we don't use drugs. Let me say, in real voodoo, we don't use drugs to induce trance. No, it is not that. When people start to use drugs to induce trance, then it is not real. It is no more real. Because spirit should be able to possess you and be able to speak through you. And if the spirit possesses you, and then during that time somebody is smoking marijuana or smoking cigarette or drinking alcohol, you see that whatever the person is taking does not affect them, and the message that the spirit is bringing will just be straight as an arrow. Can never go this way. But when people try to fool you and pretend to be in trance, that's why when they take drugs, then they pretend to be in trance and they complicate everything and it doesn't work well. In real voodoo, you don't need any psycho medicines or induce drugs to get into trance. And then more in African Magic Temple, when we initiate you, it is when we initiate you, when the spirit comes, we don't use any drug or anything. And during some of our rituals, when we start invoking, people who are around, they have not even taken any drug or even alcohol or anything. The spirit will just jump on them and then they get possessed. It happens many, many times. And I remember so many years ago when I was doing Senna was only a few months old in Japan when I was doing his outdooring. We rented a nightclub, a club which was also owned by a Ghanaian at that time in Tokyo. I'm talking about 1995. And then we brought Senna, my wife Chieko was, and some other ladies who are friends came to take Senna. And then when I started invoking the energies that I want to use in bathing my son, even the people who were in the counter serving drinks were already vibrating. They don't know anything about African traditional spirituality or anything. I was just invoking and they were in the counter, they were servers, Japanese, they were just vibrating, everybody was vibrating. People from America, everybody was vibrating. That is how spirit works. You don't need any alcohol, you don't need any drug whatsoever to use to induce trance. It should be natural if it is real spirit. So that's it. So in voodoo, we don't use those things.
Papa, another once told me that animals are not to be commoditized and capitalized as food products.
That person who told you that should explain to you. I am not the one who told you that. So please don't ask me that question. The person who told you animals are here to teach you, ask the person what is the animal going to teach you. So the person should tell you. You see, some questions you don't ask me. The deer in the bush. Are you going to tell the lion that the animals are coming to teach the lion also? There are certain things. That's why real spirituality is not it's not fake. Real spirituality is real. People eat animals. People go to the supermarket to buy meat. People go to the shops to buy beef, buy animal parts, animal as food. Yet still people come and tell you that, oh, you kill a chicken for voodoo and then it is not good. Did they think that the meat they buy, the chicken that they are eating in the hamburger and Kentucky Fried Chicken shops just walk into the oil by themselves and fry it? Have they forgotten that somebody killed them? And then they will eat it, and then when you kill one chicken for your voodoo, then people start to go haywire and talking nonsense as if they are the saviors of the world. They forgot that when they eat hamburger and they eat food in McDonald's, those animals were also killed. So what's wrong if I kill animal to worship my God, and somebody kill animal for you just to eat? Is it not the same thing? Are they not killed? Let's stop the hypocrisy and the stupidity. Yes.
Okay. We go to the next question. Michael, first time listener. This is really appreciated.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Edward, please, how much is the initiation?
Edward, initiations are in different forms, and it depends on what we are initiating you into. Then we tell you how much. But very soon we are planning to put all the different prices on of the initiation onto our website and online, because now we have got an e-commerce way whereby people can pay us directly online without going through difficulties of going to Western Union or going to other transfer agencies where sometimes they will say, no, you cannot send money to this person, you cannot send money to this place, and all kinds of things just to block us from doing the work we are doing. So we have gotten an e-commerce or e-payment?
E-payments.
We have got an e-payment app now that has been given to us by our bank, so that we can ask people to pay directly with their credit cards and other forms, which will make it easier. So with this e-commerce or e-payment method, we are now going to list all the different charges and initiations that we do. There are certain initiations which will cost you maybe $100, $500, $1,000, $2,000, and even there are initiations that can cost you up to $10,000 to $15,000, depending on what you are being initiated into. So, who is that? Who has the question?
Edward, maybe.
Edward, yes. So Edward, so that's what it is, but we will try as much as possible to start to organize ourselves and put these prices out there for all of you to see.
Aduamu.
Eh?
Aduamu.
Ajuamu. Yes, Ajua. Yes. So Ajua Sapphire. Moon. Okay.
Hi, Bokor.
Hello. Ajua, how are you? Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us.
What is the symbol of the black cat in your altar?
Black cat is black cat. There's no symbol. Sometimes in voodoo, people use the black cat as an animal used for invisibility, for vanishing and disappearing. There are certain voodoos that are done. I remember when I was a boy, they made that kind of voodoo for me, and then I think I told you. Then they use a black cat to play, but then it was in the form of a needle. So when I am walking, the moment I planted that needle into the soil and cover it, I can walk, you won't see me. But I can see myself. So that is. So black cat was used, but those are things that are done for you when you are growing up. Yeah, so there are so many you can do. Now I even forgotten, I have never used it for more than 30 years. I have not even thought about it because probably I don't need it as well.
Greetings about Africa. Thanks, Papa. I really appreciated your insightful response, especially how you contextualize with the atrocious horrors Jewish people have faced in the past, the capture of the ancestors.
Yes, because the truth is there, if we begin to think that because maybe our ancestors were not powerful, because the innocent or ignorant person is the only one who says that if our ancestors were powerful, how did they capture them? You forgot that the ancestors were, the white man did not go into the hidden land to capture anybody. They were always at the coast with their boats and their castles. And it is the black man who captured his fellow black man, either in war or whatever, and brought to the coast and then sold to the white man. So when you think that, because your ancestors were not powerful, that's why they were captured. Don't forget that some people were captured through war. And during wartime in Africa, juju and spiritual power is being demonstrated, and whoever gets the strongest is the one that overcomes the other.
Matilda, good afternoon, Papa.
Hello, Matilda, how are you?
I hope your family is doing well. Continue.
Yes, we are, and how are you too?
Okay.
Go ahead with the question.
Martin Kobler, okay, she was saying, continue to pray for us.
Okay, thank you. I'm praying for everybody. When I pray, I think those of you who can speak or can understand Eve, when I start pouring the libation, you will hear the things that I say. I say it generally for everybody around the world, so that all of us, and whether you're physically here or not, I pray for your welfare and your success in everything that you are doing.
Musings about Africa.
Yes.
He's saying that my mic is too low, so okay.
It's too low.
Yes.
So increase the mic for the side.
For Martin Kobler.
Yes, for Martin, Akwe.
It's not about you. It's not about hearing you. You should not wear the nose mask for too long.
Okay. For Akwe, I know you are a medical doctor, so if you tell me, I cannot say no. It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Martin. Akwe.
Efficient exchange of air is important. Please let the others wear the mask.
Say the others should wear the mask.
We go back to Facebook for questions. We are done with the YouTube questions.
Yes, let's go ahead.
Pierre Pilasin, thank you, Papa. I was also told that there's a technique used in the creation of using thoughts.
I think I'm wearing mask.
The others are now wearing the mask too, so for Martin, Africa, now they are. Yes, go ahead. They said Pierre Pilasin said he was told that.
Thank you, Papa. I was told that this is a technique used in the creation of you. Any thoughts on that, Papa?
No. It's not a technique used in the creation of any voodoo. We don't use any alcohol or drug or whatsoever in creating voodoo. The truth is that there are certain voodoos you can add the leaf of hemp. The leaf of hemp or marijuana, because in our culture, marijuana is a herb, just like any other plant. It was people who are in law and authority have made it look illegal or made it into an illegal herb. But nature did not see that hemp or marijuana is an illegal thing. Otherwise, it will not grow. It grows freely, but because people have started cultivating it and making money, and somebody feels that somebody is getting money and another person is not getting money, that's why the whole problem started from, whereby hemp or marijuana became an illegal thing. And we have seen that many people in the past have been put in jail for smoking a joint or all these things. But with the new advent of awakeness, where people are beginning to understand that it is just a raw plant with no chemicals in it. Yes, it's an intoxicant. Just like alcohol is also intoxicating, opium and all these things. But then it is not good for many people. In voodoo, we use, just when we are gathering herbs, and if the combination of the voodoo needs to a hemp plant or a marijuana to be put into it to activate it. Yes, we will put marijuana leaf into it, just like how we are putting any other leaves into it, because it is the efficacy of all these plants or leaves that makes what voodoo is. So knowing the combination of each voodoo, it's not every voodoo you put every plant inside. Each voodoo has its own line of plants and herbs that is used in creating that voodoo. And if marijuana as a plant is not in some voodoo, and if you ask the voodoo and the voodoo say, oh, put that herb into it so that I can be more active, sure, why not? That's like how we pour alcohol on them and they become active. So we will put that herb inside. Not on this with the mind that intoxicated or people should get intoxicated. No, that is not the purpose. The purpose is that the marijuana plant also has its own power as a herb. And when it combines with some other herbs, it is able to attract entities from outer space or the psychic plane to come and inhabit that is all that it is. So it is not to be said that the marijuana or the mushroom, LSD, and I mean they have so many names. I don't really know because I've never taken a drug before, so I don't know. I have not even smoking the marijuana before, so I don't know how its effect is. Of course, I've seen people getting crazy, and I've also seen people smoking it and they use it for a good way. But I personally haven't gone through that path, and I was from childhood stuck up with this stupid spirituality, crazy lifestyle. From my childhood, I was always crazy about God and His creation. I never really branched into that from childhood, so I had always got high on spirits from my childhood. So I don't know what people who smoke marijuana, how they feel, or people who take drugs, how they feel. I cannot tell. But me, my craziness is with these things. That's all that I have always known, and I know how I feel when I deal with them. That I can understand it. How people feel, I cannot tell. I don't. So it is not part of our every view that people should get high before the voodoo works. No. If voodoo is going to work, even if you are a Christian father and you sit down, if the voodoo catch you. It's not. I mean, you can't escape it. You can be as clean as a Christian. If the voodoo wants to catch you, it will catch you. You don't need anything. Even you don't drink alcohol, if voodoo will catch you. There was this guy called Cap. He was into voodoo long time, and then I think people convinced him to become a pastor. So instead of wearing traditional clothing, he decided to buy an old coat, and he started wearing. Now he's called pastor with a necktie. So one day he came to my senior brother's house, and he was wearing a necktie and coat. And my cousin said, Cap, what's happening? No, now he's a pastor. I'm not a pastor. Oh, really? Good. So he stayed for a few days in the town, and then one evening people were playing voodoo music and were doing ritual, and he was sitting inside with his coat, and he started moving his legs. Before they knew, he removed the coat and he started dancing among the people there. He has forgotten that he was a pastor. So when voodoo wants to catch you, real voodoo works. Real voodoo works. It's not a joke. We have in that mind that it's a trick or it is a game. No. When you get a real teacher, and the real teacher has the real thing and teaches you, and you get into it, you understand what the voodoo is. That's why people fear it. That's why people are afraid of voodoo. But it is real. It is nothing to play with. But then if you are not in the right hand, somebody who is not a real priest has not been really initiated into voodoo from the proper channel can call himself a priest or a priestess. And then they will just tell you to wear clothing and do certain things, and that shows that you have spirit. No, spirit is real. If you have it, it shows. Yes, go ahead with the next question.
Angie G. Fisher.
Hello, Angie. Yes.
Ifada, greetings from Professor.
Hello, big sister Ifadara. How are you? Thank you for joining us. I'm very grateful to all of you for joining us. We are praying that our borders will be open. We don't know when. There is some little politics also going around in it, so it is not just the COVID-19. I think people are using it for an opportunity to be able to have a higher leverage than their opponents. So that's also part of it. But after all, it doesn't concern us. When God's time comes, the borders will be open. So God's time is always the best. We are not politicians. We are teaching about tradition.
Blessings, Papa, and family. Another busy morning at work.
Oh, thank you, big sister. I'm very grateful.
Yes, they will. The Father. Tell me, precious gem.
Tell me, precious gem.
Yeah. The person says, empaths are not smart people. They just feel things more than the average person.
You said what?
Empaths.
Yes.
Empaths. Empaths.
Empaths are not
Smart people. We just feel things more than the average person.
No. I'm not saying they are mad people. I'm saying that if you are hearing things in your ear and you can hear people's thoughts, if you are not very careful, you will cross over into the part where they will call you a mad person. Because how many people can hear other people's thoughts? And if you are hearing other people's thoughts and you don't know, because here there is something that was posted on Revolution. When people were asking, oh, can you teach us the head that can open our eye? Can you teach us the head that can open our ear? If they teach you the head that can open your ear without passing you to the proper initiation, when you start to walk around and you are hearing people talking, you turn around and you don't see anybody, don't you know you start running? And when you start running without anybody following you, don't you know people will call you a mad person? I mean, it's natural. So when you hear other people's thoughts and you are able to control it, fine. But if you are not able to control it, they'll call you a mad person. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying empaths are mad people.
Then the question again, why do people outside GH pay more to do work than via food?
Why people outside because they make more money than the people who are here. That is the truth. How much is the salary of a Ghanaian? People are getting only about $90 and maybe $100 as a normal laborer a month. And out of this $90 or $100, they have to pay rent, they have to eat, they have to use transportation. And also, when you are sending vodu from here to across the oceans to go and accomplish something, and then with somebody who is sitting with you, can it be the same? The person who asked that question should answer me.
Oluchi, I had a dream of a friend that went to do sacrifice, but when I looked at the goat, it had the body of a goat, but the face looked like a dog. Please, Papa, what does this mean? Is this a bad thing?
Oluchi, I cannot tell because I was not in your dream. How can I know whether the goat and the dog face, what it means? If you want to find out, the only thing I can tell you is to do a reading to find out what that dream is. Because if I am here, I wasn't in your dream. And if I am here, so it is not a good thing. I'm not that kind of a spiritualist who just jump onto things and just answer without thinking. I have had a lot of experience with spirituality, and I talk from my experience and what I have been taught by my teacher. So, if you see a goat and the face is dog, then your friend, you say your friend was going to sacrifice it. So all these things is just that you are telling me. How can I tell you that I know what dream you have? It's not possible.
Next question. Bob McLeroy, Papa, is there a stage in voodoo or spirituality where one can see spirits with the naked eyes in their full form?
Spirits are there and they are there always. But before what you call spirit, or what we call spirit, will manifest itself into a physical form for you, there's a process which is called invocation. Evocation. And in every evocation or invocation, they have certain power words, and you have seals to draw. You have certain things to do in order to create a congenial and atmosphere for that particular entity or invisible entity to materialize itself into a physical thing. These are higher stages in spirituality, not only necessarily in voodoo, but in spirituality as a whole. And it is not for the faint-hearted. Well, what about if a spirit comes with a face that you cannot see? Are you going to run away? Are you going to shout? When we were children, we were always told that people try to go and invoke spirits in the cemetery, and when the spirit comes, they run away. That's why they are mad. We have been told this thing from childhood, but whether that is true, it is not true. I cannot prove it. But I had invoked spirits before, and I know what I am talking about. But I'm not teaching anybody spirit invocation yet.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you to Senna and Kelly and the team for creating this platform.
Thank you very much, Evan. I'm very grateful for you joining us.
Grand Rising family.
Everybody, thank you for joining. Thank you all, and Grand Rising to you too.
Francis Newman. I am glad that we are advocating our ancestors' powers to the world.
Thank you, Francis. For joining us.
Jeff Bright, Mileva.
Frankie. Hello, Frank. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Do we have something like for girls in Voodoo, and does it work for everyone? Thank you.
You know, when you are young in Voodoo and your aim is to get someone to love you, your concentration will be on such things called for girls. But when you grow older in Voodoo, those do not become the main interest. Yes, they do have, and it works. Not only for girls, it can also be for boys.
Ifadara says, welcome, brother.
Thank you, big sister.
Ebenezer Bones, we all die, we die, Papa.
By all means. All die, we die. Whichever way we die, we die. Death be death. Some people will be dying by anger. Some people will be smiling before dying. Somebody will die peaceful death. Somebody will die traumatic death. But all die, we die.
Ebony Joy Boss.
Yes.
But isn't alcohol natural and mushrooms are from the earth? Neither of them should be needed, but both are aids to spiritual work. So why?
Ebony, let me tell you straight and very plain. Our ancestors used alcohol to give to spirits. And then it takes up. The spirits are called spirits, and alcohol is also called spirit, if you don't know. Mushroom is not called spirit. Okay? I finish my case.
Ebenezer Bones, Papa, I just found out that you are a magician too. I saw some of the performances on Instagram. The question is, magic involves only tricks or some involves spirits and what?
Evan, yes, I am a professional illusionist and a magician too. But magic as an entertainment is illusion and it is tricks. That's what I do on stage when I am entertaining people. It has nothing to do with spirits. It has nothing to do with blood. It has nothing to do with anything spiritual. Absolutely nothing to do with anything spiritual. It is an art that anybody can learn and master it and demonstrate it. What the magician, as it is called in the olden days, today they call as illusionist. What he does is that he is playing God, he is playing spirit, he is acting the part of spirit. Like the other day, I think I showed this thing to people, but I don't know how many people still remember. The magician is playing God. So, Eben, if you are still watching, this is if you make sure you can see it. Is it showing? Huh? So this is it. So the magician is playing God. There's nothing spiritual about it at all. It is all the hands being faster than the eyes. It has nothing to do with the spirit or dwarfs or whatever. But then in the olden days, because there were a lot of people who want to scam people, and even today, some pastors are using it in the church to fool people. So this is it. So Emmett, watch me. This is a coin. I'll put this coin into my elbow here, and it will appear here. Okay, watch it. I put it through here and it will appear here. Or I'll decide to put it through here and then do like this, like a joke, and then it will just go. These are all magic tricks. It has nothing to do with spirituality. Watch very carefully. And if I go like this, and go like this, then I get the coin back. This has nothing to do with spirituality. But what of our people will use this kind of tricks, a sleight of hand, and the hands being faster than the eye, to deceive you that they have spiritual power. Because mind you, the black man always wants to see miracle before the day. The black person always wants something to happen immediately in front of them. They don't know that spirituality is natural way or it's nature. It takes its time to materialize. Because when the sun starts rising from the morning, it will come from the west, and the sun will start rising from the east. By evening, it will come west for sure. But the black person, and especially the African person, I don't know much about other people, they want the sun to start rising right now and then set immediately. Then they know that you have done something great. For this reason, a lot of spiritualists, probably good ones and bad ones, use tricks to fool and convince people to believe them that they have spiritual powers. I never use my spiritual, my tricks or my magician's knowledge to mix up with my spirituality. They are two separate fields. There is magic for entertainment, and there is magic which is natural magic, which we call vodu, traditional spirituality. And that's what I teach. I also teach entertainment magic. If people want to learn it, I teach that one too. But my concentration now is more on our tradition, and then I'm leaving the entertainment field to my children. For them, they are still young, so they can be on that field. So, Eben, this is what I am.
Next question from Pierre Pilassen. I meant that the burying of a live animal, is it part of creating a voodoo?
No, I don't know. I don't know whether burying of a live animal is a part of creating voodoo. I have never come across it yet. Maybe there is not. But I personally have not come across burying of a live animal as part of voodoo. No, not yet.
Diamond, blessing family.
Hello, Cash, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us.
Levi Sparrow Hawk Smith.
I started.
Go ahead. So we should cut something. It's giving a what? Double voice. Echo. Post it. Okay, great. Is it okay now? Who is listening to it? How will you know? Put it on the ear, then you know. If you don't listen, how do you know? Is it okay? Okay. So, what was the question? The last question was? Yes, burying a live animal for making voodoo, I don't know. But I know, like I had described earlier, in when somebody is sick and we are trying to heal the person, but the person is not healing. And if we do consultation and they ask us to send a live animal into the spirit world or into the psychic plane to be able to go and fight whatever is fighting them from there, yes, I know. And also I know another one is that, like, we bury a live chicken for 3 days, cover it for 3 days, and with some incantations. And then after 3 days, when you open the grave or the hole into which it is being buried, this chicken will still be alive. Usually, it is believed that the chicken is sent into the spiritual world or the psychic plane to bring an information. And often when the chicken is killed, and they are dissecting the chicken, we find something inside the gizzard or in the descent that become a spiritual ornament or something, depending on what ritual they are doing. But the chicken never dies when it's been buried for 3 days or even 1 week. Can be buried and it will come back. These things I know, but to bury chicken for voodoo, or that is the way to set up voodoo, I am not very sure, but maybe there is. Because it is not everything in voodoo that I know. I know what I had been taught, and that's what I'm teaching.
Next question from Levy Sparrow Hawk Smith. I started my search for who we were before the invasions a couple of years ago. Voodoo is where my focus has been, especially recently. Hopefully one day I will be in it.
It is the interest and the call within you that wants you to learn more about voodoo or learn more about any other traditional African spirituality. If you are able to get the right teacher who can teach you, why not? Because it is an eye-opener. It awakens your inner self and brings you to the light. That's all that voodoo is, or traditional practices are. But I think when the white man came to our shores, because it was too much for them, and they have to find a way to label it negative in order to conquer us or to make us less effective. That's why in my local language, the white man is called Ayevu. Ayevu. That is the name we call the white man. I think the Kenyans and people call Muzungu. I don't know the meaning of Muzungu, but I know the meaning of Ayevu. Aye means trickish, cunning, and Avu means dog. So in my local language, Ewe language, Ayevu means a cunning dog or a trickish dog. It pretends as if it is your friend, but it will bite you. That's the name of a white person. In my language.
Ebony, I am praying for a real teacher. Prince Joa, long live Papa.
Continue praying. Definitely one day, there's a saying in spirituality that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I believe one day your teacher will appear to you.
Prince Joa, long live Papa.
Thank you very much, Prince. I'm very grateful.
We are learning more of what we already have from you. My master, you used to tell me you don't know how to speak. Sorry, from you, my master, you used to tell me you don't know how to.
Joker or joker or tree. I say I don't know how to speak a tree, but I'll never say I don't know how to speak in joker. Joker is everywhere. Anyway, reframe your question and then send it to me again so I can answer you. Joker is everywhere. I know how to speak joker. Why not? A few days ago, a taxi was bringing the person here. No, Uber wanted to bring somebody to the shrine, and then they don't know how to come, so they asked. They say I should speak to the Uber driver. So I asked the Uber driver, "Do you know Spintel's Road?" He said, "Yes." "You know the house where the juju man, the house?" They said, "Oh, are you the juju man?" I said, "Yes." Then he started laughing. So it makes it easy. I'm not ashamed to be a juju man. Why should I be ashamed of being a juju man? It's only people who don't know what their culture is and what their identity is. They are the ones who are ashamed of their culture and their tradition. If you know what your identity and your culture is, you wouldn't be afraid and you wouldn't be ashamed of your identity. People are proud to hold the cross, hang the cross on their neck, and all that, but then they are feeling ashamed to wear a traditional ring that protects them. Isn't that craziness? Who tell you the cross can protect you? Unless it has been empowered.
Mohammed Fofona. Papa, would you tell us a little about Kotokoli Donko? I'm a Kotokoli and I'm very curious. Never heard of it.
Mohammed, the word Kotokoli, as in the Juju or in the listen, Kotokoli is a tribe in, I think, northern Togo, and mostly in the Volta region. I had stayed with the Kotokoli people from my childhood. The Chambas and the Kotokoli people were people I had lived with. They were like my brothers and my sisters, my cousins, and Basari. These three groups were people that I knew. And then the Kotoko, usually the way Donko, in the Ewe understanding of Donko, as well as in the Akan word Donko. Donko usually means a servant or a slave. So this abochi that I have, one of its name is Kotokoli Donko. Means it actually probably it came from the Kotokoli people as a servant to work for them. So the spirit is called the servant of the Kotokoli people, but it's a spirit. So that's how abochi is another name for abochi, which is a Kotokoli Donko. I think you people should get someone to feed the birds because they are all out there. They are hungry. So the Kotokoli Donko is because Abochi is the servant of the Kotokoli people. That is why it is called Kotokoli Donko. I have been very close to the Kotokoli people for a very long time, from my childhood all through, even when I came back from abroad for the past 20 years. I would say my cousins and my nephews and all the people are Chamba, Basari, and Kotokoli people. And we had always been one. So me having Abochi as a Kotokoli Very happy. Yeah. Kofi, me pick a me style yo. Yeah, when papa le busy. Yes.
That's for Mohammed Fufuna.
Yes, Mohammed Fufuna. So one day when you come to Ghana, or if you are here, visit me. I am not a Kotokoli person, but I have lived most of my life with the Kotokoli people and the Chamba, the Kotokoli, and the Basari. Because I grew up partly in Togo, in Kluto, where we have the Basari people area. So I grew up among in Dainkonta, especially. I was part of there where we have a lot of Kotokoli, Chamba, Basari, and there's another tribe that I also grew up with. They are the ones who do that small millet called ova. When the name comes, when you meet, we'll talk. Okay, thank you.
This is from YouTube again, Louis Cypher.
Yes, hello, Louis. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
This is from YouTube again, Louis Cypher.
Yes, hello, Louis. How are you? Thank you for joining. Spirit. The Muslims are practicing voodoo. I have a lot of Muslim brothers, even coming all the way from Burkina and Niger, Mali, and all these things. They are all Muslim. And even here, there are so many Muslims who practice voodoo because voodoo is our African tradition. Islam, Christianity came from outside to kind of cover what we have. So voodoo is our tradition. So if you are interested in your tradition, you are interested in your identity, and you are interested in yourself as a human being, and you respect yourself as a human being and respect who you are, Islam is not above voodoo. Christianity is not above voodoo, because that is where your ancestors were before Christianity and Islam came onto the African continent. Who said that the black man did not know God before Islam? Who said the black man did not know God before Christianity? If so, how come you have the name of God in your local language? Is it the white man who brought it? Is it the Islam man who brought the name of God in your local language? Is it the Christian who brought the name of God in your local language? That should tell you and show you that the black man knows what is God before the advent of Christianity and Islam into our shores, or came into our lands. We know the name of God, and we know what is called good, and we know what is called bad. It was not the European or the Arab who brought this thing to us. This is why we have set up this platform to re-educate ourselves and our people to understand and be proud of themselves. We should be proud of ourselves as black people. Because how come Africa has everything, yet Africa is the most poorest country among all the continents in the world? It's because of this stupidity that has covered and clouded our eyes and our face, that we are not good. Unless something comes from outside, we are not good. Meanwhile, the people are not coming from outside to come and bestow you with any gift. They are coming to steal from you. You have it and you are letting them to steal and take it away, yet still you say you don't have anything. This is what we are trying to do. This is the purpose of African Magic Temple and Revolution, to awaken you to love yourself as a black person, to identify yourself with what your ancestors had before the white man or the Arab man came into this thing. Until the black man begin to look at his or her roots and going back to where his ancestors left off, we will always have this kind of case of George Floyd. If we begin to look at ourselves and love ourselves, it's not only singing song about yourself, a black is beautiful or this thing. You must live that life. And you must try to prove it to the other people that you love yourself and you love your fellow black person. If we continue doing this, maybe not in my lifetime, and also maybe not in my children's lifetime, but in my children's lifetime, that awareness will come and we will become free. Because Africa cannot have everything, yet still we are the poorest among the poor. We want to go to Europe to look for a job. And the Europeans are coming here and taking our gold, taking our oil, taking our everything, and even taking the brain that Africa developed and sent to their country. But we think that when we go to Europe before we are living good, because you were told that go to heaven. When you go to heaven, you will enjoy. Why the people in heaven are coming to hell? What do they look for in hell?
Okay, on YouTube.
We are in hell, okay? So whether we have gold, we have diamond, we have everything. So if you are in heaven and heaven has gold, what do you need here? But that was a lie. They told you that they have gold and what do you call it? They say they have honey and milk and all this in heaven. So why wouldn't they go there? Why do they want to come here? There's nothing there. It's a lie. They told you a lie. They just want to fool you and tell you that your goodies are there. So don't fight for material world at all. Your goodies are in heaven. When you die, you go and enjoy it. So why they are fighting over it and taking it and fighting each other over it in our land or on our land? And they are telling you that you don't worry, go to heaven. And then our fellow black people who have become pastors and Christians have realized that this is a money-making business. They begin to cheat their own people every day. I posted something today. They are now selling anointed masks. That's a new fraud. That is anointed. It is protected. It's a Holy Ghost this thing. And some stupid people will fall for it and go and buy each one for how much, and they will not get money in the house to chop food. Because our people are very wicked, the black man. They've learned the ways of the white man, Ayevu, and then they are using it on their own people. But each and everyone has their destiny. They will pay. There's no hell to pay in. You pay it here. You pay it here. Whatever you do, you will get the result here. You are not going to any hell or any heaven. It is here the heaven is, and it is here the hell is. You will pay everything. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, on YouTube, Reynolds 888, George Floyd fake. Let us not be so soon to judge.
My brother, don't tell me that nonsense. Everybody saw Floyd dying, and we saw him in the coffin. What do you mean he fake his death? Hey, I don't want to hear that. You are the one who sent me a message that you can chant and rain will stop. Stop that nonsense. Don't come to my face and tell me those kind of things. George Floyd fake his death.
Musings about Africa.
I'm not that kind of cheap spiritualist that you know. George Floyd fake his death. Before people have been arrested, go and tell those who have arrested the policemen that the man fake his death. Don't come to my platform and say those kind of stupid things. When you told me that you can chant and rain will stop, and then you are asking me whether I have I'm teaching anybody in America. If you can chant and rain will stop, what do you need a teacher for? You are the kind of fake people going around disturbing black people.
Musings about Africa. Hey, Reynolds 888. This is not the space for reckless and unnecessary comments like this one.
It is my platform, so you don't come onto my platform and say nonsense. It's not your platform. I decide what I say here. You are not the one who decide. You are not the one who created this platform. So why you are the one who will decide what I say here? I'm teaching truth and reality. I'm not talking about dreams here.
Okay. YouTube, Jail Church, being proud of your Africanness is important. This is really showing up now in the protests.
Yes, that's what we are talking about. And that one man is telling us that the man fake is deaf. Are you serious? I wish it was your brother or your father that they kill, and then you tell us that he fake is deaf.
Okay, we go back to Facebook.
You don't know that all of us are angry, but there's nothing we can do. That's why we are quiet. Go ahead.
On Facebook, Papa AJ, Papa, can you kindly explain what genes are?
Gene, what is the spelling?
D-J-N-N.
Yeah, it's called genie or gene. It's an Arabic word for spirit. So genie means spirit, just the same as in Ewe we call it vodu. So it's as simple as that, nothing more. It's an Arabic word for spirit.
Okay, next question. Mohammed Fofona.
Yes.
Thanks, Papa. Would love to know what it can for me. Is it a divination?
It's a divination tool. The Abochi or Kotokoli Donko is a divination tool to open your eyes and your ears to look behind the scene, to see behind the physical scene. So it's a divination tool.
And what's the initiation spirit? So I will see if I can come to be initiated into it.
Oh, it's a whole lot of process, Fofana. Initiating into Abochi, it takes you about 5 years. It's not a one-day matter. I'm sorry, it's not something that comes so easy. It takes you at least 5 good years to go through this. It's not a day's thing. So you need to learn the process. And I think you might have seen the video where they were putting certain things into my nose. They cut metals and put into my nose, and then when they start invoking, the metal had to go into my head and stay in my head as an antenna. So it's a whole long process. That's why I have not been introducing this thing as an initiation to anybody, because the process is very long, and if you are not a person who has patience, you cannot go through it. A lot of time people are thinking spirit or spiritual work is something that you snap your finger and then it comes. It's a process. And only those who have got the heart and the money to go through it, they go through it. That's the truth. That's why when you see someone at a spiritual height and is doing things and saying things, it's not like someone who just started from. If the person is real, of course, people are faking and all these things and saying things as a fake thing. That's why that man coming into my platform and making that nonsense by saying that he can stop a rain by chanting, and yet still you want to be taught. We have gone through a lot of things. We are not here joking. So the process of Abochi is a very long process. But if you have the patience, sure, why not?
On Facebook, Levy Sparrow Hawk. Papa, even in Britain, now you can't use Bible to teach in the schools. If you do, you will be jailed.
They are beginning to awaken that because the British had their own way before the Christianity took over. And then the King James wanted to use the Bible to rule people, and he wrote his own. You see, and our people here will say, I'm quoting from the King James Version, KJV, I'm quoting. Something is wrong here with our people. So I'm talking from the King James Version. What about the other versions? How can one book have so many versions? And you call it Book of Truth? Go ahead with me.
On YouTube, it's the same post from Reynolds 888. He's still saying Job.
It's okay. We are here live. If George Floyd's death was fake, if the whole world knows. I'm not the one going to say that George Floyd's death was fake. The videos are there for everybody, and the whole world is demonstrating. If he thinks that George Floyd's death was fake, that's fine. That's with him. And those who think that it was real and seeing the dead body, they too, they are there. So whatever you say, it is your own cup of tea. I don't see why somebody can be, someone is kneeling on another person's head, the person urinated on himself, he called his mother's name and all these things and said, oh, I can't breathe and I can't breathe until he died, and they came and carried him away. You telling me here that it has been fake. Okay, prove it to the world that his death was a fake. Me, I don't need your any proof.
Now, for such initiation is like university, you must pay school fees. You never graduate.
And I could go search. You pay school fee. By all means, even if you go to university, you pay school fees. If you finish the school without paying the remaining school fee, they won't give you a certificate. Even those knowledge, you need to pay for it. How much more this is natural knowledge, which awakens your own inner self and works it out with you. Yeah. Are we done?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the time?
4:15.
4:15. So we don't have any question, both YouTube and
YouTube. The only posts are from the
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for watching us. And I got angry with this gentleman, called, whether it's a gentleman or it's a woman, I don't know, because he has sent a message on our Facebook wall, on our YouTube wall, after watching my video where we stopped the rain from falling when this man from NASA came to African Magic Temple. NASA is a National Aeronautic and Space Agency of the American. When one of the engineers came to be initiated here, and then we had to go to the village and it was raining, and then we had to use some things. We begged nature to allow us to work, and then the rain stopped. It was before everybody. He sent me a message on a comment on it that he could stop rain by chanting. I said, well, that's good for you. If you could do that, then it's great. Then he followed up by saying whether I have any places in the US that I am teaching people. And I said, no, if you could stop rain by chanting, why should I teach you? Why should somebody teach you? Why are you looking for a teacher? Now the same guy coming on here saying that George Floyd faked his death. So it's fine. That kind of people are also there. So when I get angry, I'm not getting angry with you people, but I'm getting angry with people who think they know more than everybody else. When they know more, why do they come here? Why are they on our platform? You know already. What are you looking for here? You don't need to be here. If you are wise and you know everything, why are you here? We don't know. That's why we are here learning. So if you know already, Mr. Renati 888, please just be on your own. Don't come on my platform, because I'm not going to tolerate any stupidity on my platform. Create your own platform and teach what you want to teach. But don't come onto my platform and bring stupidity. You are telling me that this is not created for that, as if you are the one who created the platform. Thank you very much, everybody. And I wish you a very wonderful week. I hope that next week we will see. I had spoken about migrating from Facebook to YouTube over the course of time between now and the 30th or the first week in July. Please try to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can move there, and maybe on that platform our distance will be stable so that we can, and as well as our website, African Magic Temple. Thank you very much for all of you. Wishing you all a wonderful week. Bye-bye for now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what is the meaning of Christ? The word Christ is a Greek word. The real word is Christus. And what is Christus? That one which is enlightened, the one whose mind and brain and intuition become active, who is enlightened. So when Jesus of Nazareth, when he was born, nobody born him Christ. He was never called Christ. He was called Emmanuel. He was only called Emmanuel. Even the place where people start calling him Jesus, I cannot really know, but I know from the very beginning he was called Emmanuel. That was a name that the parents gave him, and the Emmanuel has a meaning that God is with us. Just like in Ewe, when we say Mauli, means there is God in our language. So Emmanuel became Jesus. And Emmanuel, the sound is not good, eh?